let's look at three simple ways to preserve string life. Strings can be expensive. Let's face it, if you play every day, if you play in a band or do a solo gig, you know that string costs can really add up. So if you play mandolin, dobro, banjo, steel guitar, uh, this video is for you. So how often should you change your guitar strings? This seems to be a common question. Well, most of us who aren't on tour playing stadiums, we can get away for 3 to maybe 4 months before needing to replace strings. But I will say, and if you check the accompanying article that goes with this video, the experts at Taylor Guitars explain this in a little bit more detail as to how often you should change your strings. But for sure, the first thing we want to do in our three simple ways, we can thank COVID for this one, but we want to make sure you wash your hands and wipe down your guitar strings. It's always a good idea, but even more so when you consider playing a musical instrument, it's all about our hands, isn't it? So wiping down the strings with a soft cloth is an excellent way to avoid the buildup of residue from oily or sweaty hands. The oil and the sweat on our hands, they start to corrode the strings, and that's what introduces decay. So sometimes the first ways we notice that is the playability, the tone, they start to diminish. So wipe down those strings every time you put your guitar away. And then number two, let's trim the ends of our strings when we change them. This also helps in keeping the instrument in tune. And it has something to do with maintaining even pressure in the string. So without trimming, those long ends are just hanging out there and they don't add any function. They don't help the string health at all. They just look a certain way. Some people think that's cool, but it's probably not the greatest way to preserve your string life. So it's worth a little cleanup to keep your instrument in tune. And then the last thing, play in tune. Believe it or not, this is how to really keep your strings fresh and able to last a long time. And it's the surest way to sound like a pro. Just play in tune. You've heard it said, probably read, sometimes when you fly or the air pressure is a factor, you want to lower the pitch of your strings, but those times are few and far between. So again, we've covered basically three different ways to preserve your string life. We talked about washing your hands. We talked about wiping down those strings. Want to make sure you trim the strings when you change them. And last and certainly not least, let's play in tune. Let's get a tuner and keep that guitar in tune. That's really what it was designed for, to play in tune. But hey, that's it from Jim Snedeker Music this week. If this was helpful, leave me a thumbs up, a subscribe, any comments too. I'd love to read them. I respond to every one. And I just want to say thanks for joining me today.